Thank you for joining me as we take a look today at Psalm 57, another one of those psalms set in the period of time when David was on the run from Saul, fleeing for his very life. And according to the introduction here, we find him hiding in the cave. Now that could well be the cave of Adullam, the occasion of which we read in 1 Samuel 22, but no doubt there are other occasions in which it would also fit the bill, as it were. And also it's interesting to know that it's worth reading this psalm in parallel with Psalm 142. The introduction is more or less identical, the context, the setting is exactly the same, and much of the content of 142 echoes 57 that we have here. And although we've seen David in this sort of place many times as he's on the run and in great trouble, what's different for me about this psalm is the whole tone of it. It's much more triumphant, it's much more focused on God rather than on his troubles. So out of these 11 verses, only 3 verses speak of David's trials. The rest of the psalm is an outpouring of confidence and trust in God, culminating in that great prayer that God would be exalted in all that happens to him and in his reaction to it. So I've got 2 sections here, 1 to 5 and 6 to 11, both ending with that great prayer of David's. And I've called 1 to 5 David's refuge, because that's what he talks about here. He talks about taking refuge in God. Look at verse 1. In you my soul takes refuge. In the shadow of your wings I will take refuge till the storms of destruction pass by. But what I want you to note is this. David is hiding in a cave. But he's not hiding really from his enemies. He's hiding in his God. His refuge is not the cave. His refuge is his God. He's actually hiding in God. His confidence is not in the cave, but in his God. I was reminded of Psalm 91. Listen to Psalm 91 verse 4. He will cover you with his pinions, and under his wings you will find refuge. Then down to verse 9. Because you have made the Lord your dwelling place, the Most High who is my refuge, no evil shall be allowed to befall you, no plague come near your tent. David's refuge. And then the second part of the psalm, I'm calling this David's resolve. And for me, the key word here is the word steadfast. It comes twice of David in verse 7 and once of God in verse 10. But there's a direct link between those two I want you to notice. David is saying, my heart is steadfast because your love, O God, is steadfast. I can stand my ground. I can persevere. I can persist. I can be resolute because I have absolute confidence that your love toward me is steadfast and unchanging. Isn't that a wonderful thing to hold on to in a world of such uncertainty and danger and unpredictability? Even among enemies, let alone friends, who betray us and let us down and disappoint us. Even when our own hearts betray us. There's one immovable element in the universe. It's the steadfast love of the Lord, which never changes. And his steadfastness enables us to be steadfast in him. My prayer today is that your real refuge is in God, and that his steadfastness enables your steadfastness. The Lord bless you.